I took the liberty of spending half an hour on non-syllabus topics. Okay, so now we will understand this tight binding theory. But before that, let us first understand what are the things which we have studied about the crystal structure as of now. One was the chronic penny model, which was basically the first introduction from a mathematical perspective. Okay. Today in the morning, we did something like this. Okay. Here was the silicon, right? So this was again looking into the solid state material as a point of from the point perspective of crystallography. So that means how the crystals are made, how they are arranged. Okay. So before and now, after discussing with this crystallography, I will look into solid state from another perspective, which is called arrangement of atoms or tight binding. So that means how the atoms, if we just bring two different atoms from infinity, from anywhere, suddenly I'll bring two atoms and basically I'll bring them close. What happens when we do that? It's a very, very interesting topic. And I want you to stop me and ask me questions in the middle of the class. This is kind of this is a practical session, right? So I want you to speak out and shout. Okay, but before we go into tight binding, let me just show you some examples here. This is the one which we saw today. This is silicon. Okay. Now let's, so this is silicon. Now let's go to germanium. So if you notice, silicon and germanium, there is hardly any difference. But here difference kahan nahi hai? There is hardly any difference in the crystallography. Please understand this. There is hardly any difference in the lattice point of view. Can you understand? Do you understand this? There is hardly any difference in the arrangement of the atoms. And that is the reason why silicon and germanium work very, very similar. I told you now, the physical properties of the crystal, so that means whether it is a semiconductor or metal or this, they are all dependent on the arrangement of the atoms or the lattice rather than the bases. So in case of germanium, if you notice, the unit cell volume is 160 angstrom cube. In case of silicon, okay, if you come, for example, let us just check the distance here, D. Okay, interatomic distance is 5.43 angstrom for silicon. If you are going to germanium, it is 5.65 angstrom. So that means you will find that the lattice constant is different. Okay. Now, however, what is more important than that is there is hardly any difference. As you can see, it's just I mean, the software has simply changed the color. That's it. Now we will come into iron. Iron का अभी iron का देखते हैं Fe. If you notice, you can see that the central atom remains the same. The remaining are simply moving like this. So if I can even do an animation, you can see that. Okay, so that what does it imply? This is an iron unit cell. What is this?
Body center.
Simple cube, body centered cube. Excellent. Okay, this is for iron. Now we will come to aluminum. What is this?
Face centered cube.
Face centered. This is face centered. Okay, this is aluminum. And later on, when we are understanding devices proper, like after a couple of weeks now, we will go deep into devices. And over there, we are going to understand why we cannot use iron, but we will use aluminum for the gate contacts. Okay. Now, see, you are going to be VLSI designers, right? IC designers, chip designers, and all that. So you are working in Global Foundries, Intel. Somebody can easily ask you, अच्छा हम copper या iron क्यों नहीं ले रहे हैं? Aluminum molybdenum क्यों ले रहे हैं? You should be able to answer those questions. I am going to try. I'm going to make you experts. Okay, so be with me. So this is basically the face centered. Okay, now enough of this. So I think that should be enough. I mean, if I find that you require more details, this is just an example of aluminum. This is the face-centered cubic. This is body-centered cubic. This is an example of germanium. ये क्या है? बोलो.
Germanium. FCC.
Interpenetrating FCC.
If you are not putting interpenetrating word, then there is no difference between this and this. अगर interpenetrating याद नहीं आ रहा है इंटरव्यू में, at least diamond lattice बोल देना. Like zinc blende structure or diamond. Look, it is again, this germanium is also like a diamond. Silicon is also like a diamond. Okay, so at least if you forget this term interpenetrating FCC, just at least tell it's diamond lattice. Okay, but don't call FCC. This is FCC. Then there is no difference between aluminum and silicon germanium. Okay. Okay, now let's. That's enough. I think we are done with this. Now we will understand something very, very interesting. Okay, ये रहा आपका periodic table. And here is our hero. Hero of the modern world, that is silicon. Okay. And this is the hero. This is the hero of all organic matter. As I told you. Remember what was the reason? Catenation. Okay. This catenation is the reason for existence of organic matter in the first place. But anyway, for modern world, second most important element, I guess, that is silicon. Okay. Achha. Silicon mein, what I'm interested in, there are many, many properties. So as far as this course is concerned, I'm going to get interested in electronic configuration. Okay. I do not know if you can see this. It writes, I'll just copy paste so that you can get a, so I'll just copy and paste. It's basically the electronic configuration. Okay? So you can clearly understand why this is neon, uske baad silicon. Okay, fine. So I'm going to just use this here. Tight binding में हम यहीं से शुरू करते हैं. So silicon का, this is a different approach of looking into the materials. So the first approach was quantum mechanics. Yes or no? That was what we have done previously. So the first approach was quantum mechanics. That is the mathematical model of the solid state. That was Kronig-Penney model. It's not. It's a very crude model, lot of approximation, but still it helps us to understand energy bands. Second approach was crystallography, जो हम अभी तक देख रहे थे, and all these things. This is crystallography. Okay. This software is primarily used by the chemistry people, materials people. I don't use it much, little bit. Okay. So now, from an engineering perspective, from crystallography, now I'm going into tight binding. This is now physics. How physics people will look into this. So tight binding में silicon is equal to neon as the core and then 3s2 Fe2. अब देखो how the physics people, the experts in solid state physics, I've got many friends in physics department. So how they will look into the materials, and this is very interesting. आप लोग सब अभी ध्यान से समझना, okay? And I want all of you to think about it tonight. After the class is over, just think about it. सोचना इसके बारे में. Many things will become clear, and it is totally physics. So what we understand here is that first thing is 3s2 3p2 hai. So basically chemistry people will say that they are essentially getting hybridized. Okay, 3 So this will essentially become 3sp3 hybridization. Okay, I will not go into this hybridization concept as of now. That is the chemistry approach. I'll go through the physics approach. So the first thing is that the potentials, I'll call it electrostatic potential, electrostatic potentials, potential in a single atom. Okay, so here is it. Sorry. Okay. Now, when we are speaking about a single atom, let us assume that the atomic number is Z and you are having a charge Q. So the nucleus is going to be a plus ZQ. Okay. If it is a single atom, then what is the, so here is the potential and here is the distance R. Let us call this in angstrom units. Here it is, angstrom is, let's talk about in nanometers. Okay. Angstrom is the order of atomic lengths, right? Nanometer is for lattice. Okay. So here you have got the potential. What is the unit? Let us call it volts. Anyway, let's keep it like this. So now this is your 0 point. This is our reference point. Now in this case, what is the expression for the VR? There. So we are going to think about a couple of interactions. The first interaction, so inter-atomic interactions. Inter-atomic interactions. ठीक है, क्या क्या हो सकता है? Number one will be the first interaction that can happen is, remember, an atom is surrounded by electrons, right? तो यानी कि if you are having a plus Q, यहाँ पर एक electron है, I mean there is an atom, there is another atom. Is second atom is essentially coming close to each other. So the first interaction that it is going to have is basically this, right? तो यहाँ पर एक electron है, यहाँ पर एक electron. कौन सा first interaction will be between, that will be repulsive between the electron, isn't it? So interatomic interactions में first वाला रहेगा आपका electron repulsion. Makes sense? Because electrons are on the, I mean, they will reach first. Second interaction क्या होगा? Like I expect all of you to speak out.
Nucleus and nucleus.
Nucleus तो बाद में आता है. Then second thing will be this. I mean,
Inter-electronic.
Inter-electron
and other nucleus.
Electron and nucleus.
And nucleus. Excellent. Dekho. So basically, when we are bringing this electron atom together, the first will be these electrons will they will be repulsive. Repulsion will happen. Okay. And then the next thing will be, the next interaction will be the plus Q and the electron. Okay, so anyway this plus Q is connected with its own electron, this plus Q is connected with the own electron. Now it is going to also attract the neighboring atom's electron also. Okay, so that will become nucleus electron attraction. Make sense? Number three, the third one will be, as one of you have rightly said. So that means what I'm trying to tell you is that, so first this electron will repel, they will repel. I'll bring even closer. What will happen? इधर आ गया. क्या हुआ फिर? this electron and this nucleus, they are getting attracted और पास आ गए, तब क्या होगा? This nuclei will start repelling each other. Okay, so I'm going to write here N repulsion. So clearly what we understand is that there are two repulsions going on and one attraction going on. Okay, so now as you can clearly understand, so it's a matter of at which optimal distance, I mean there must be an optimal distance, right? So there must be an optimal distance somewhere where these forces, so that means this, how should I represent? This is the repulsion, red are the repulsion, okay? So plus Q are the repulsion, and the green one is basically the attraction. Now notice I have written here 3, but actually there will be 2 into this, into 2 times. Why? Because this nucleus will basically repel, electron will repel. However, in this case, this nucleus is going to attract this electron and this nucleus is going to attract this electron. So you are essentially going to have double. So it will turn out that there will be equal number of attractive and repulsive forces. Okay, na? And as a result, what will happen is there is going to be an optimal distance between these atoms where they will reach an equilibrium. So the total repulsive force and the attractive forces are equal. And that distance is called the lattice constant. समझ में आ रहा है? Huh? So that means when the atoms are essentially brought close to each other, okay, then it will automatically have one equilibrium distance between the atoms such that, and that equilibrium is essentially going to be such that it is going to literally stabilize, kind of thing, and the atoms will stay there, I mean, even if you are trying to break that material. So that is the beginning of the strength of solid crystals are solid. Okay, so solid crystal, silicon is a solid crystal because of this particular equilibrium position. Okay, that means the two nuclear and electron attractive forces are exactly balancing out the electron repulsive forces and the nucleus repulsive forces. Understood? Now let us look into this. So this part is has become clear as far as the forces are concerned. Now let us look into this same physics. Instead of the forces, we will understand it better from a perspective of potentials or energies. Okay. Achha. All of yeah, please Srinivas, tell me. All of you please ask questions. I'll feel that okay, you are not sleeping. Tell me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please.
In one of the lectures, one of my friends asked that how can stability be attained at the edges of a solid because it won't be surrounded by the same number of atoms as that of the solid, as that of the atom which is in the middle of the solid. So you said the stability is dependent on the base but not the lattice.
No. Here we are speaking about an elemental crystal. Okay, so that means we are speaking about the atoms which is coming about. So when we are talking about the base, that is on a different level. Base mein kya hota hai? Let us say sodium chloride. So the bonding between sodium and chlorine is essentially it's an ionic bond. So the bonding between sodium chloride is a chemical bond, so that is much more stronger than the solid state. Please understand that if you want to separate out sodium and chlorine, you will have to do something about it. Okay? Whereas if you are talking about sodium chloride crystals like salt, ठीक है, पानी में घोल दो सब निकल जाएगा, ठीक है. So the point is that we are talking about the entire crystal as a whole. So in this case, let us talk about silicon and silicon. We are speaking about only not the bases, but the atoms over here. Of course, bases are, I mean, that is chemical bond. Chemical bond is much more stronger than this attraction repulsion going on over here. The distance between sodium ion and chlorine ion in an NaCl, not the crystal, but NaCl molecule, it's basically much stronger than this. Okay, we are talking about physics, not chemistry, huh?
Okay, sir. So, sir, here if we consider this, sir, here if we consider elemental crystal silicon, so the atoms which are at the center of the crystals, they are balanced out, and a certain lattice constant will be attained, right, sir?
Yes, I'm coming into that. So in fact, what you are telling is, this is basically the layman approach. This is the first understanding that from a perspective of forces. Okay, this is just the attractive force balancing out the repulsive forces. So in that way, I have just explicitly told you what are the attractive forces, what are the repulsive forces. Okay. Now I will talk about in terms of the potentials and the work done by these forces. तब आपको पूरा clear हो जाएगा. Like the questions which you are having, that will become clear. In fact, in that approach, that is basically called the tight binding. So in that tight binding, once you understand this, I mean, this entire crystal structure, whenever you hear this term, you will automatically, you can picturize what is happening. And even as I told you, this sp3 hybrid orbital, what is the meaning of sp3 hybrid orbital, that will also become clear from a physical perspective. So just stay with me. Yes. Give me another 1 hour. And if any one of you are losing interest, or let us say, I mean, if you have better things to do than this, then you can always watch this on YouTube. Okay. So now this is the potential. By the way, I'm not speaking about the forces. Forces का भी हम analysis कर सकते हैं, but that will involve vectors and all. It will be more complicated. So I have chosen potentials which are scalar quantities. So it will be easier for us to do the math and all that. I mean, understand the math. It doesn't bother about the, you don't have to bother about the, I mean, the directions. Okay, so this part is known to everybody. Correct? This is the electrostatic potential energy. यहाँ पर minus q डालना है because the zq is the plus charge, minus q is the electronic charge. So essentially, it's an attractive force. ठीक है, बढ़िया है. So now, what we are essentially concerned about, that this is proportional to two things. I mean, just pay attention here. It is minus. Okay, that means it is attractive, and it is proportional to 1 upon r. That means geometry में इस function को क्या कहते हैं? 1 by r hyperbola. Okay, it's a negative hyperbola. So 1 by r, so y equal to 1 by x. This is x. What is that function? Like this, right? Here I have put a minus. So अगर हम minus कर देते हैं, then what will happen? Simply it will get reverse. So y equal to minus 1 by x is this. Okay, this is a hyperbola. Fine. So here what I shall do is I'll just put this hyperbola. I am not bothering about the exact magnitude of z cube by 4 pi epsilon. Okay. So you are essentially going to get something like this. Sorry. Fine. And also I'll select this, Control C, Control V, and I shall reverse this. Okay, so this will essentially go somewhere like that. Okay, so all I've done is I have simply plotted this equation. ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं, ठीक है? Now what I shall do is I'll select this one, Control C, Control V. There is another atom here. And then this one. Okay. Now, when these atoms are very far off, अब देखो situation क्या हो रहा है. This plot I have done is essentially with respect to the electrostatic potential energy, not the potential. I'm sorry, it's potential energy. And so let me just write it more explicitly here because it might lead to confusion later on. Okay. Okay, this is the second atom. Okay. Now comes the most interesting part. So this, when we were dealing with like chronic Penny model, remember we saw that this is the barrier, isn't it? We approximated that barrier as a square one like that. Okay. So now what we will do, we'll try to understand is that, remember I told you for silicon we will be having one neon neon part and then 3s2 3p2. Okay, neon core, sorry, not part. The neon core and the 3s2 3p2. Okay, so that means there will be 2s2 like this. So let's say 1s2, 2s2, okay, 2p6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that basically becomes the neon. Okay, and then you will have 3s2, 1, 2, and then 3p2, 1, 2. So this is basically your 3p2, 3s2, 2p6, sorry, 2s2, and 1s2. Okay, I'll just copy paste this also. Ab dekho, now we are going to go into real roller coaster ride. Now notice in this situation, when the atoms are much farther away, the valence electrons will be available here, right? Yahi to kahin hoga na? The electrons will be available here. Okay. So when they are further away, you really do not have any chance for the electrons to basically interact. Okay. Now the situation changes. So what I'm going to do now is this. When this atoms comes very close to each other, okay, yes, please tell.
Sir, I don't think this question will be relevant, but I have some doubt.
Yeah, please tell me.
In EDC, sir, we have learned that when two atoms are very close to each other, the energy levels get splitted. So,
Yeah. I'm coming to that.
Is related to that. So are we heading to that?
Yes. Now you will be as I mean, it's not relevant means it is perfectly relevant. You are, I mean, what I've noticed is many of you have studied earlier, but you cannot connect the dots. You will not, I mean, in this course, the whole objective of this course is basically you can see this happening right in front of your eyes.
Yes.
Now comes the most interesting part. Earlier, those atoms were very far off. Now I have just brought the atom from the right side to very close. Now, what is the first thing that will happen? देखो, पहले तो हमने बताया था कि first thing that will happen from the force perspective is that electron-electron repulsion will happen. Second thing that will happen will be nucleus electron attraction will happen, and this is from the force perspective. That's why I call it as interactions. Here, on the other hand, we are essentially understanding from an energy perspective. Notice that the first thing that will happen is not that the electrons will not start going to each other so easily. अभी उतना मतलब उतना तो नहीं है, ठीक है। अभी क्या होगा is first thing to note is that all these energies are negative. देखो यहाँ पर है r axis, distance axis, ठीक है। All this interesting thing is happening in the negative axis. Why? Because the forces are it is attraction, ठीक है, electrostatic potential energy. Okay, now comes the interesting part. Notice that potential, that's why I was telling you, now I'm not showing you the interactions of forces, but we are going to do the analysis in or understanding in terms of the energies. Energy is a scalar quantity, yes or no? Correct. Agar ye energy is a scalar quantity, then they will simply add up or they will simply subtract. Okay, so now what is happening is this part, whatever we had now, they will simply cease to exist. Okay, ये वाला नहीं रहेगा. क्यों नहीं रहेगा? क्योंकि earlier what was the situation? There is an potential here and no potential this. But in this case, if since they are close, the sum of the potential over here is essentially determined by the sum. I mean, the final resulting potential at any point is the sum of all the potentials, because remember, potential is a scalar quantity. ठीक है? तो यानी कि पहले जो यहाँ पर हम देख रहे थे कि देखो यहाँ पर एनर्जी कम हो रहा है, ठीक है, लेकिन अगर मैंने और एक तीसरा भी एटम लगा दिया ना, तो उसका एनर्जी तो तब बढ़ेगा ना. जैसे कि देखो, जैसे यू कैन सी दिस पोटेंशियल एनर्जी वाज डिक्रीजिंग, but immediately when this atom has come close, this potential energy has started increasing. So the sum of these two potential becomes initially decreasing, then again increasing. So basically what is going to happen here, it will end up becoming somewhat like that. Okay, why is that happening? Because it is the sum which matters. Okay, very good. अभी हम और पास लाते हैं. देखो, this is going to be really interesting. It's an eye opener. ठीक है, इसको बीच में लेके आना. अभी क्या होने वाला? Again the same thing will happen basically. So your friend had just told you the same thing which I am trying to tell. अब देखो, the potential barrier between these atoms are essentially decreasing. Can you see this? Everybody say yes. Like if anybody is having any problem, please tell me. I'll explain once again. तो यानी कि as we are bringing the atoms together, the potential barrier between the atoms is decreasing. Okay.
Sir, can you please explain the energy sum, like how that is getting the resultant energy? Can you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah. So all I'm suggesting is that so let's just okay. So here, okay. Now, what is the potential at this point? Let us say this value of R0. This is radial distance outwards. Okay. R0 में potential कितना है? आप क्या बताओगे? इतना है, सर यहाँ से यहाँ तक. Negative है, of course, because it is, as I told you, it's attractive. Now, when we are pushing this part further, तब भी R0 क्या है? सर इतना ही है सर. Okay, excellent. Then यहां तक आ जाएंगे ना, तब R0 का वैल्यू कितना है? The exist earlier one plus ये वाला भी तो रहेगा ना?
Yes, sir.
है ना? क्योंकि
Yes,
now you can see, because remember one thing, potential is a scalar quantity. So the total potential at this R0 is now increased by this plus this amount. So all I'll do is इसको ले लो और यहाँ पर आ जाएगा. तो यानी now what we are observing is that now the potential energy has shifted from here to here. So it means that gradually पहले जितना मतलब एनर्जी था अभी कम हो रहा है. So the new thing will be essentially like this. Barrier यहां से कम हो गया. ठीक है. Now we will move it even further. तब क्या होगा और नीचे आ जाएगा. So now the new barrier will be like this. So now it will appear something like that. समझ में आया?
हाँ सर.
ठीक है. So now what is going to happen? Earlier the barrier was much higher. Now the barrier is reducing as we are bringing the atoms closer. Correct? And why is this happening? Because no matter how complicated the situation inside the lattice, always remember potential is scalar. So it will simply add up. Okay. Excellent. Now, अभी इससे भी अगर हम पास आ जाते हैं तो क्या होगा? अब कौन बताएगा मुझे? अब क्या हो रहा है?
Merge होने लगे.
Basically what happens now is that the barrier has become shortened to this level only. So the new barrier is only here, if you can see. Okay. Whereas this 3s2 and 3p2, they have combined. Okay. So now what is going to happen is like, okay, आप तो सर ये तो मजेदार बात है. आप जितना घुसाते जाओगे, जितना नजदीक आते जाओगे, उतना इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एक साथ मतलब कंडक्शन बैंड में चला जाएगा. Right? These electrons are able to move from one atom to another. And for these electrons, what will happen? Now let us connect the dots. याद है? I was telling you at one point of time कि obstacle वाला problem. Okay. Now these electrons will be moving like a wave. It will find a small obstacle. What will happen?
The wavelength
will change. ठीक है ना? So that means let me just draw it like that. The moment it sees that obstacle, उसका wavelength थोड़ा बढ़ जाएगा फिर से कम. And then this whole thing will repeat once again. So let's draw it once again. ठीक है? Just be a little bit. This is very interesting, though. I mean, I find it interesting. देखो आंखों के सामने कैसे मतलब लैटिस बन रहा है. Okay. Now this whole thing इसको हटा ही देते हैं. Okay. Now what we will do is इस बंदे को भी अगर एकदम घसीट के लेके आएंगे ना तब क्या हो जाएगा? Now I have put like 4 atoms together. Then this will also go. This get stroke. Right. Now what will happen? आपका सिर्फ ऐसा रह जाएगा. And I have shown for 4. It can be 4 trillion atoms. So essentially meaning that the valence electrons, they are able to move freely from one atom to another. ठीक है? Because these energy states have become combined. ठीक है? Awesome, right? Okay. Now, with this concept, we will answer another question. तब अगर ऐसा ही चलता रहा, then why aren't these atoms coming so much close to each other that all the electrons will essentially merge? Who will answer that question?
सर इलेक्ट्रॉन रिपल्सन.
हाँ, उससे भी बढ़िया. प्लस क्यू प्लस जेड क्यू प्लस जेड क्यू, यहाँ भी तो रिपल्शन है ना. आप कितना नजदीक आओगे? Like you cannot keep this going on indefinitely, right? So this is how the interatomic interactions will vary with respect to the interatomic distances. Clear? Okay. Now, the last part of today's lecture, that is the tide binding theory, tide binding concept. So this part is clear, everybody? This was really
Does
interesting.
this mean that if we have much more denser metal, it will be more conducting? The denser the material, the more it will be conducting.
Actually, it depends on the. Always remember there are. I mean, we will understand conduction mechanism later in details. There are three factors: N, Q, and grid velocity Vd. Okay. Now this Vd. So N is basically the number of available carriers. So that means denser the atom. देखो मान लो यहाँ पर dense बहुत dense है, but the number of energy states are very less. तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You have to always have free carriers in the thing. ठीक है? So how many of free carriers are available at the, I mean, no matter atoms, solid state कितना भी मगजमारी कर लो, कितना n का value क्या है free carrier concentration. ठीक है? And all the engineering that we do, MOSFET मान लो, BJT मान लो, heterostructures मान लो, LED, lasers, tunnel FETs, carbon nanotubes, FinFETs, कुछ भी कर लो. We are all playing God over there, trying to deal with this value of n. Q, I mean, we don't have to bother because it's electronic charge. It's always constant, okay? And we are applying biases. Bias कहाँ से आ रहा है? This drift velocity is nothing but the mobility into the field. So field will take care of the biases. इतना VGS, VDS कुछ भी लगा दो, it is essentially affecting the field. Okay, so as a देखो, so now it's so interesting. I mean, a circuit designer will play around with what? They will play around with the biases, right? So आपका ये they will play around with the force, the field over here. Instead of electric field E, I choose to write F because E I'll use for energy. Okay, so this is the field. So field is influenced by the IC designers, chip designers, circuits people. They are all playing around with the biases and all, right? So ये field के ऊपर काम करता है. Materials people, they will work around with the mobility. अच्छा, नहीं इससे नहीं चलेगा, इसमें थोड़ा सा जर्मेनियम डालो सिलिकॉन में, तो अगर जर्मेनियम का मोल फ्रैक्शन बढ़ रहा है, देन उसका मोबिलिटी चेंज हो जाएगा स्ट्रेस के कारण. That is how i3 came into the world. Like Intel का i3 processor that essentially incorporated strain and increased the mobility. Okay, so so this mobility factor Q, you can't do anything, and all these materials what we are trying to do, that's all about N. Okay, so that means as VLSI engineers we do not have much control over mu, but as VLSI engineers we can do something about N and F. So device engineers will deal with N, how to, what transport mechanism or what should be the device architecture such that the number of carriers are generated easily. Okay, the circuits people are playing around with F, the field. So the combination of all this is basically giving you the drift current. Okay, we will look into that in lot of details later. So just to answer one of your questions, does it mean that if we bring the atoms closer together, it is going to, no, not at all. Suppose the energy gap over here is huge. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about insulators, right? It doesn't matter at all. Okay, now I'll finish off with the last part of today's lecture. This is really interesting. तो अभी force के बारे में पता चल गया है, interaction of the I mean electrostatic potential, influence of interatomic distance on the electrostatic potential भी हमें समझ में आ गया है. And now finally the last part of tide binding theory is what causes the equilibrium lattice constant. जैसे कि हमने यहाँ पर बताया था ना, the forces are basically balancing each other out. That is a very kind of very crude way of explaining things. and it doesn't even take into account the hybridization. We will understand the hybridization and the number of free carriers now. It is the culmination of whatever we have been speaking for the last 1 hour. So this is this is really one of the best topics in this whole course. Okay, and I want all of you to kind of discuss among yourself. Like if you were in on campus, then I'm sure you should be discussing this. Okay. Again, let's get back to this concept 3s2 3p2 silicon ka electronic configuration. Okay. Now, the first thing is that what is the valence electrons valence orbital 3p? Okay. So that will be having the highest energy. So here I'm drawing the energy in electron volts. Here is the radius or radial distance atomic separation in nanometers. Okay, so now we will understand this from the perspective of orbital picture. All of these together culminates into this tight binding theory. Okay, so here let us say, okay, I'll use this. Let us say graph. Perfect. This it will be easier for me to maintain the distance. So here I am having the 3p orbital states. I am talking only about silicon here. So how many energy states are there for 3p? Somebody tell me. Somebody please. अच्छा, S का क्या होता है? 3s, one down arrow, one up arrow, one box. This is your 3s. 3p का?
6.
6, exactly. So, okay. So that means now we have understood, like we were talking about 2 atoms or 4 atoms coming together. Now we will talk about a real life situation. N number, capital N. Capital N can be trillions of atoms. Okay, this is the real crux of the whole discussion today. So this is 3p, and how many energy states will be there? If there are n number of atoms are there, capital N, so there will be 6n states in the 3p orbital. And how many electrons will be there in the 3p? 2 only, right? So 2n electrons. Okay, everyone, samajhna isko. Now I'll be drawing the 3s. Now these are the valence, right? So 3s को कहाँ draw करें? चलो यहाँ पर draw करते हैं. This is the 3s orbital. How many energy states will be there? 2n. How many electrons? 2n electrons. So basically we will write 2n states and 2n electrons. Let's discuss the valence orbitals. नीचे वाले जो states हैं हम बाद में देखेंगे. Once you understand this, it will become clear. Now, so why are they separate? Like when the distance of the atom is very, very high, for example, the situation which I showed it here, when the atoms are very, very far away from each other. Okay, I'm not speaking about meters here. It's, let us say, micrometer. Okay, then basically these energy states are quite far off, nothing to do. Yeah. Now when we are bringing them closer, जैसे कि R is decreasing in this direction. Okay, then the energy which is farther away, that will get affected. जैसे हमने पहले भी कहा था, the farthest, the orbital, which is the valence orbital, which is the farthest away from the nucleus, they will get affected. वैसे तो होना ही है ना, electrons are the farthest over there. So what will happen is, I'll use the blue color. Now they will start getting split. Okay, so they will start getting split, and यहाँ भी ये चलता जाएगा. Okay, now this splitting of this orbital that has started earlier, much further distance away for the 3p. Now 3s is slightly inside, right, in the atomic structure. So basically this will also start splitting up, but it will start behaving at it will start splitting up at some more distance apart. Much lesser distance. Okay. It's very difficult to draw using the graphic tablet, so my drawing is much better on Blackboard. Okay, okay. So that means the instance when the 3p has started splitting up is much further distance. Only when it is much closer, 3s will start splitting up. Okay. Now, once the atoms have come this much close, here somewhere. Okay, पहले यहाँ था, ठीक है? तब कुछ splitting वगैरह कुछ नहीं हुआ था. Then it came here, 3p states split up. Then 3s states split up. Now, what will happen is, what are the number of states over here? Dekho, again 6n states, I'll put ST, and 2n E. Yes, EL. Please tell me.
This splitting is because of hybridization, and also available electrons are there. With the
Hybridization, not really. This is getting split because of hybridization will essentially cause the electrons to combine together. Okay, this electron splitting is essentially happening because of this. These energy states are essentially combining together. Okay, look, these energy states have become, so there are two states, to 2 plus 2. Okay, so hybridization concept will come right now in a few minutes. Just see how hybridization occurs. So even when the splitting has begun, you will notice that there are 6n states and 2n electrons here, 2n states and 2n electrons here. Okay, but when these red and blue are coming, they are essentially becoming close, then there will be a region here where they will essentially merge. Okay, so how shall I draw this? Here. Okay, and or let us say, let it be the way it was. I'll draw a separate. Then over here, what will happen? There will be a small region where they will merge. So the moment it merges, so let me just draw that part here. From here, from this atomic distance until this atomic distance. What we observe that 3p and 3s are essentially getting merged with each other. So that means the energy states of the 3p shell and the energy states of the 3s shells are essentially getting merged. So what happens? How many energy states will be here in this green part? 6n states and 2n. So that means 8n states. Okay, and how many electrons will be here? This is 6n plus 2n, so 8n states will be here because these atomic orbitals have merged together. Okay, and how many electrons will be here? Clearly, this is 2n and 2n, that is 4n electrons. Okay, now an interesting thing will happen. Notice that earlier these 2n electrons which was there in 3p, it was unable to come down to the 3s, even though it was having higher energy, right? This is energy axis. Every particle will always try to go into the lower energy state, you know? So to achieve better stable equilibrium. So these 3p electrons, these 2n electrons in the 3p shell, they were confined to stay in the 3p. I mean, but as soon as it basically sees one window, what will happen? These 4n electrons will come and occupy to the lowest energy state here. Okay, so I should actually draw this part. Everybody with me? Just think about it. This is the 2n states, 2n electrons. Okay, now these 4n electrons are essentially here. So where will these 4n electrons end up? These fellows will not stay in the 3p anymore. It will just fall down to the lowest energy state it can have. Okay. Now again, remember, energy is a scalar quantity, so it will always subtract or add up. Okay. Now this blue line which we had drawn, okay, so this part I should also write. This is the concept of hybridization. So at this atomic distance, from here to this atomic distance, we will face hybridization. So this is sp3 hybridization. तो हाइब्रिडाइजेशन क्या हो जाएगा? Okay, you will essentially end up having, I mean, all the 4n electrons and 8n states here at this particular atomic distance. Or when we are bringing those atoms even closer, what will happen? Remember that this blue and the red, blue one here, it is decreasing, and here it is increasing. This decreasing is happening because of attractive energy. This is happening because of repulsive. This energy increase karna matlab the work done is more. That means it is repulsive. Repulsion कहाँ हो रहा है? याद है? Nucleus and electron repulsion. Attraction कहाँ हो रहा है? Only nucleus and electron attraction. So basically that is the reason why it is also coming down. So what will happen? One is plus, one is minus. As a consequence, the minus of this blue here, this part which is decreasing, will cancel the addition of this, the plus of this 2n. So as a consequence, what will happen, you know? This one will sorry. Okay. This one will start going up again. Okay. Similar thing will happen for the red also. But red will happen much lower distance because 3s is at a lower energy than 3p. It's closer to the atom. Okay. Now the interesting part of all that is, once the 4n electrons have come over here, but again these energies are essentially becoming vacant. Okay, so if I can draw it like that. Okay, now here again you will notice that there are no energy states here. So in this region what we will have? We will again have 4n states. 4n states, because again the 3p has split up, because plus and minus they have cancelled out. And in this case, how many states will be there? Again 4n states. It's not 2n anymore. They will divide equally. However, these 4n electrons which have come down because of hybridization, during when it was basically intermingled, these 4n electrons will stay there coolly. However, these 4n states जो ऊपर है ना, how many electrons will be there?
0.
0, exactly. अब देखो मजेदार, अब समझ में आ रहा है? Like those of you who are attentively thinking, you will understand what is the fun. Now it becomes simply a matter of at what atomic distance those atoms will essentially reach its stability. That means in case of semiconductors, so now we are first understanding for the first time in this course what makes a material semiconductor. In case of a semiconductor, क्या होता है? The equilibrium distance will be somewhere right here. Okay, so let me do it with some dashed lines. Dash here. Okay, for a semiconductor, it happens somewhere here. So this is the line. Equilibrium lattice constant in semiconductors. So what will happen? So in those materials, so please understand that this concept which I have told you is basically for any, मतलब कोई भी दो atom ले लिए, हम पास लेके आ रहे हैं. In case, I mean, in those materials in which those atoms will reach its equilibrium lattice constant at this distance from here to until here, then what will happen? In that particular material, there will be 4n states completely filled with electrons. 4n states, 4n electrons. So that means this happens to be the valence band. Okay, this becomes the valence band. That means we say na, the valence band is completely filled with electrons. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पर 4n states है filled with 4n electrons. ठीक है? Whereas at this particular atomic distance यहाँ पर चले आओ, तो यहाँ पर क्या हो जाएगा? Conduction band. Four n states, equal number of states in as valence band it is there, but it is completely devoid of electrons. In that case, what is the band gap? Just the distance between here and here. So this is becoming your EC, this will become your EV, and the distance between them is your band gap. Now you might ask, sir, इसके नीचे क्यों नहीं हो रहा? ये तो यहाँ पर अगर हो जाए तो बैंड गैप तो ज्यादा हो जाएगा, यहाँ पर कम हो जाएगा. No, because the interatomic distance is basically balanced out by the interatomic forces, interactions. जिससे मैंने ये क्लास शुरू किया था. समझ में आ रहा है? So that means it is just a matter of chance that a particular element which will essentially have a particular equilibrium distance such that this band gap will turn out to be 1.12 electron volt. That is silicon. So we have cherry picked this particular, कहाँ गया? बंद कर दिया गया. We have specifically cherry picked this material, silicon, because अगर इसके silicon के बदले में कोई और नाम होता हम उसी को select करते. Because silicon incidentally has a particular atomic distance such that this band gap is kind of, I mean, something we can do about it. The entire electronics is based on it. Now, in the same picture, okay, suppose the equilibrium lattice constant, I'll put another color here, is here. In straight line, dashed lines. Yes, please Ashok, tell me.
Sir, can you explain again why the energy levels in the valence band again raised? I mean, the state.
This one?
The value, the energy. No, sir. In the valence band,
Uh-huh.
after a certain distance, again moving to the I mean, horizon, the energy levels are raised, right?
Oh, this one here.
Yes.
That's a very important question. Yeah, I haven't come to that. Basically, what we have spoken over here, what is this? This is essentially the Coulombic attraction के बारे में हम बताए थे ना, Coulombic attraction या repulsion. This is attraction because of negative. But we have not spoken about another very important part, which is essentially got to do with the nuclear repulsion. So we can call this as nucleus and electron attraction. Okay, so this is basically this one. So nuclear repulsion, for example, I'll call it VNN of R. That will be obviously positive, because this is, you have to do work done against this force. Okay, so this nuclear repulsion जो है उसका फोर्स क्या होगा? That will be ZQ square. देखो यहाँ पर एक Z मिसिंग है, यहाँ पर ZQ square है, divided by 4 pi epsilon R. लेकिन instead of this R, through nuclear physics, which I don't know, this will be R to the power of 9. Okay, it turns out, like, I'm not a nuclear physicist, so I don't know. So if it varies with the power of 9, so what it means is, if you are having a variation like this, okay, for I mean this attraction, so this is, if this is VNE as a function of R, okay, this is R, this is V of R. Okay, this part, so let me just highlight it as red color so that you understand. So this red color thing, this nuclear repulsion, that is going to be much sharper than this particular variation. क्योंकि यहाँ पर ये variation क्या है? This is a hyperbola, right? I told you this is just 1 by R. Here it is plus, so I'll call it like this, 1 upon R to the power of 9. Okay, so what it means is, again, remember at the very first 1 or 2 second lecture of this course, I told you about ranges of forces. Yaad hai? Huh? Strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and all that. So this range is very small because R to the power of 9. And this is nuclear. So nuclear कब होता है? मैंने बताया था ना? Only when the atoms are so close that the nucleus are close to each other. Only then you will be having this force. So basically, this force will be like a sharp increase over here. Okay, so if you again remember, potential is a simply scalar quantity, so we will add up. तो अगर हम इसको add up करते हैं तब क्या हो जाएगा? यहाँ से आकर E से, correct? And that sharper increase in the green, so what is this green color? This is the superposition or simply let me call it sum. Superposition is a big word. Sum of VNN plus VNER. समझ में आया? So in this case, if you notice, I have drawn a much smoother curve over here and over here much sharper. So I will write here, this is due to, and notice one thing, this this smooth curve which we have drawn over here happens to start at a much further distance. Only when the distance is much less, then what will happen? The atoms are so close that the nucleus will start repelling each other. तभी ये positive होके निकल जाएगा, मतलब बढ़ जाएगा due to VNN function of R. Okay, like whoever asked. समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
So okay, whereas this one is due to VNE. In fact, ये VNE मतलब न्यूक्लियस इलेक्ट्रॉन अट्रैक्शन, इसीलिए तो ये कम हो रहा है, ठीक है ना? ये पर न्यूक्लियर न्यूक्लियर रिपल्शन, इसलिए वो बढ़ रहा है, प्लस हो रहा है. ओके, सो हियर आई शैल पुट ड्यू टू VNE of. Okay, so now I'll finish this by considering this particular situation where if this orange color which I've drawn, if the lattice constant is such that the distance is over here, तब क्या होगा? कौन बताएगा? अगर इस distance में from here to this dot dash lines, so equilibrium leads to, bolo, basically in this region what we observe within this green part, there are 8n number of states, 4n number of electrons. They are free to go about anywhere.
Metals.
Exactly. Awesome. Very good. So everyone, do you understand that? Like even if you don't answer, doesn't matter, but satisfy yourself कि अच्छा हाँ यही सच है, metal ही होना चाहिए. क्योंकि look, there are 4n electrons. That means n means essentially trillions. Okay. So no dearth of electrons, free electrons. There is no dearth of energy states. Okay, so the electrons are able to move from conduction band, valence band, आराम से. मतलब क्या कहते हैं? I mean, in Kannada we used to call it mast maja madi. So I mean, full on basically. Equilibrium leads to metals. Clear? Huh? Very good. Now, what will happen if we have pink wala? Again, dash lines. Now, suppose I get an equilibrium here. What will give you? What will it give you? Insulator. Awesome. It's clearly understand. Why? Because valence band में 4n electrons तो है. 4n electrons है. 4n is completely like filled, but the band gap is too much. Okay. So here, equilibrium leads to dielectrics. Okay. Okay. So now somebody can ask me, I mean, I'll be very happy if somebody can raise a question here. How about the lower energy states?
They'll split more. I mean,
They will also go through the same story, but this will happen somewhere here. Okay, so that means if I want to draw it, I'll draw it like this. So much lower energy. So they will all be here. And all this splitting will begin somewhere in this place. So I'll call it like 2p states. Okay, but what is the situation? We don't have to bother about these splitting and all that, because the atoms will be anyway reaching equilibrium based on the valence electron situations. Okay, excellent. So I'll write here atomic separation. This is called a very, very important theory. In fact, this is called tight binding theory. Some people call it as tight binding approximation also. Let me call it as interatomic separation. Okay, so thank you so much for your patience and audience. It's a kind of long class, but I think, I mean, henceforth you will look at solid state on a different perspective. Please tell me, anybody was asking a question.
Sir, from hybridization, so hybridization is nothing but getting a half octet configuration. Is that it, sir?
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
So electron in one spin in 3s will go to 3p.
Sorry.
In the energy states 3s and 3p.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
so you have given spins, right? Yeah. So in 3s, one spin will go. I mean, will go and occupy the 3p.
Essentially, it will become like this: 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So these will essentially occupy the same energy states, and they will essentially get hybridized into this 3 sp3 hybridized. Okay. So, but in this case, we don't bother. In solid state, we don't have to bother about the spins as such. All we will do is spins will only give you an opportunity to, I mean, when we will be considering the density of states, a factor of 2 will come in all our calculation, because any particular energy state can accommodate 2 electrons of opposite spins. So that means the probability of occupation simply becomes doubled. So that is the only thing which we need to bother about when we are dealing with VLSI devices. So exactly the spin configuration, exactly where it is going and all, from a like physical perspective, from physics perspective in solid state, we don't bother, because we are dealing with trillions of atoms here. Capital N is trillions. ठीक है? वहां पर एक दो इलेक्ट्रॉन का कहाँ क्या वो एक अप स्पिन है या डाउन स्पिन है, doesn't matter. ठीक है? Like the atoms which we drew over here, the previous one which we saw, these are valid for a single atom. Like hydrogen atom के लिए आप ये सब लिख सकते हो. Okay, so if you are speaking about chemistry, where people are essentially dealing with like 1 or 2 specific portion of a molecule or a specific region of atoms and all, then this theory is okay. But when you are dealing with, let us say, i7 processor with, let us say, millions of transistors, and each of these transistors are having trillions of electrons, then these kind of spins and all don't even matter. Okay, Akash, please tell me, please ask. I'm really happy that all of you are responding. Yes, please tell me.
Sir, we also divide the semiconductor on the basis of direct and indirect band gap.
Okay, यहाँ band gap का कोई question आया ही नहीं है. Band gap हम देखेंगे. Like band gap is okay, but direct and indirect वाला concept जो है ना, so that depends on the K value. Okay, so in fact I left it here.
Sir, and also the concepts of anti-bonding and bonding at orbitals.
Yeah.
That will come here only.
So this we are going to study in the next class or the class after this. Okay, so where the minimum of the conduction band edge, whether it is coinciding with the where it positions itself on the K axis. This is the actual, the original EK diagram, or rather we can call it as a dispersion relation, or the band structure is the best way, band structure of silicon. So in this course we will even learn this. Okay, I will take one class, and so that you understand, like this will be important not for the people who want to do VLSI circuit designs, but those of you who want to go into fabrication, for example. Okay, if you want to work with Global Foundries, they are the kind of global leaders in fabrication technology. Okay, in fact, some of my friends have gone to TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. So if you want to join fabrication companies, then these are important. Crystal orientation, 100 kya hai, 111 kya hai. These are all Miller indices anyway. So we have to understand that so that we can represent this. So this is for silicon. Okay. Now this is for germanium. And if you remember, this is the direct band gap case. So in this situation, I have this x-axis is R. R is the radial distance away. I have not spoken anything about K. ठीक है, वो reciprocal lattice या फिर Miller indices वाला concept जब clear हो जाएगा ना, then we will be able to appreciate, okay, this band gap which I have told, whether it is coinciding with the gamma point, X point, or L point. This is X valley, this is L valley. So if you notice here, something interesting you can see right away, that there is a gamma valley. I mean, there are three minima, 1, 2, 3 for the conduction band. Here also, 1, 2, 3, as well as here. We will look into this, don't worry. 1, here is another minima. Can you see that? Local minima, 2 and 3. Now in all these three diagrams, which of these local minima is the absolute minima? That depends on the direct band gap or indirect band gap material. So in case of gallium arsenide, this is gallium arsenide band structure. The minima, absolute minima, this is also local minima. Notice, this is also local minima. This is also local minima. X, gamma and L. हर जगह होगा. यहाँ पर भी X, gamma, L. X, gamma, L. We will understand the significance and physics of yeah, X क्या है, L क्या है, gamma point है. हम लोग सब देखेंगे. Don't worry. Just hold your horses. Now, over here, what we observe is that the absolute minima happens to be coinciding with the gamma point. That means K equal to 0. So that's why it is a direct band gap. In these cases, there is a local minima. Local minima होगा ही होगा. जैसे यहाँ पर भी एक local minima है. However, the absolute minima happens to be at the L point here. So that is germanium. In this case, the absolute minima happens to be here. 1, 2, 3. This is the minimum one. यहाँ पर 1, 2, 3. देखो, this is the minimum one. So that happens to be L. Here it happens to be the X point, 100. Okay. So this has been told. This has been discussed in IC fabrication course. This should be actually. If I were teaching you IC fabrication, I will emphasize. This देखो यहाँ पर 100 axis है X point में, यहाँ पर 111 axis है. So from here we get an idea that if you want to make one silicon device, then you should cut that silicon crystal in 100 plane. ठीक है? This was taught in the IC fabrication course. Please tell me yes. I'll be very happy. No. Then will you say yes, sir? So ये वाला बहुत important है. यानी कि अगर मतलब forget about many things, ये सब भूल जाओ. लेकिन when you are working in industry and you have to make one silicon MOSFET, in which plane are you going to cut? Like today we have seen, right? We are cutting the diamond planes. We are cutting away the diamond atoms. उसी तरह से silicon को भी आपको मतलब it's called CMP. CMP का नाम सुने हो? Chemical Mechanical Polishing. So you have to cut the planes accordingly. या तो wafer जैसे आप prepare करते हो. तो wafer cutting का जो technology है वो कौन सा angle में करना है, किस Miller indices में करना है, you will always put 100. अगर आपने 111 में कर दिया तो गया, वो सिलिकॉन कभी काम ही नहीं करेगा. तो उसका interstitial spaces, उनका QIT जिसे कहते हैं, हाँ, interface trap charges इतना ज्यादा होगा ना, उसका VT इतना ज्यादा, if that VT will be higher than your VDD. Okay, so forget about working with that. Similarly, in case of germanium, you have to put it in 111 plane. So all these concepts will come only once you understand this. We will not go into the details of this, but we will try to interpret these band structures physically so that you can simply Google the material band structures, because these are standard materials In our research, currently we are working on some novel materials, so we will try to find out the band structures using some software, or we can determine it experimentally. Then we will try to do an analysis and interpretation of this based on this crystal axis. ये 100 है, ये 111 है, उस हिसाब से हमें fabrication करना है. ठीक है ना? Okay. Too much for today. Thank you. So I'll stop the recording here. So I will recommend all of you to please go through